Bum 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 bum. The Peter Mix Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I have some good news and some bad news. That's why it's a Peter Mix Show today. Mary Curry continues to bless me. What had happened was that I was at my grandmother's funeral, and I asked my grandmother when she makes it to the other side to go talk to Mary Curry because she was 91 years old when she passed away. She spent 6 months with Mary Curry here on Earth, and I thought the two of them could, that was my logic at least, that the two of them could communicate with each other. And once again, Mary Curry has struck again. Now, here's why I think she has struck again. I had asked my grandmother to talk to Mary Curry, for Mary Curry to set me up with one of her great great granddaughters. Now, I met quite a few. I've been on quite a few dates ever since then, and all of them had some connection to Mary Curry. Some of them were related distantly by blood. This one probably isn't. But a few weeks ago, I was talking to one, not my student, but a student in a different department at the college campus where I teach, and I came to discover she was born exactly on the 100-year anniversary of when Mary Curry became widowed. And that's the fifth one that was related to one of Mary Curry's big anniversaries. Some of them not exactly on the dot, but close enough. I don't think she's related to Mary Curry by blood. She's Hispanic for the most part. And so well, we've been chatting a lot ever since we met at the student union. The only problem is that she doesn't know how much older I am compared to her. Until she really digs, I'm trying to just omit that fact and see where I go with it. Because after all, even if we don't hit it big, every one of these conversations they have really helps me build some of these skills, and I don't mind it. She's probably not going to be my lifelong partner, but that's okay. Now, the other thing I need prayer for, and this one I kind of learned the hard way. In 2025, I made it a New Year's resolution to never let any little opportunity slip, right? Even a student who's 20 years my junior at the student union, I'm going to get as much out of the interaction as I can, right? Or more generally, I make it a new rule. Anybody who's within 6 feet of me, I make sure to at least say hello to them, build good rapport with them, and that's what's led to the student. It also led to a lot less stress in my life. I talked about how I recently took a flight and I had good chemistry with the person sitting in front of me, although we had a weird discussion that led to both of us almost getting kicked off of the flight, but at the same time we had some good laughs along the way, right? Go watch my last video about the whole seat kicking saga. But I make it a new rule to never let an opportunity like that slip. Well, here's the problem. Those things don't always come for free, right? They take up a lot of mental capacity. We only have so many gigabytes of RAM up here, and I find I'm using a lot of the gigabytes for that. At the same time, yes, I am making a lot of new connections. Yes, it has landed quite a few dates, but at the same time, I find that some of my hobbies are falling behind. I'm not writing any computer games anymore. My Bismuth art career has kind of regressed a little bit, and so I've come to realize it all comes at a cost. And earlier today, I had massive diarrhea. What had happened was that I just hadn't been taking good care of myself ever since I'm wanting to make sure I start every little conversation. The other day, I hardly got a chance to eat before a class because I was so busy making sure I had small talk with everybody within 6 feet of me. And so it caused a little bit of chaos in my life. And so I quickly realized that there's no such thing as grabbing every opportunity. Everything you do comes at the expense of not doing something else. And it made me wish that I had more resources on my hand, right? Speaking of why I need more resources, yesterday I recorded 2 videos asking people to pray that when I wake up, I find 10 tons of gold underneath my bed. And here's why. Here's why. What would I do if I woke up to find 10 tons of gold? I'd go report to work just as usual. And here's why. I live with a number of roommates. I might look for better roommates. After, I probably wouldn't go live alone. Living alone comes with its own set of perils. By the way, it's not the dream I want to say, but definitely better quality roommates would be a good thing. But even the roommates that I do have, now that I have a little bit more resources than I did a few years ago, I find I'm in a much better position. I'm much less willing to concede when I'm not wrong. So for example, one of my roommates, he's been living here for 10 years apparently. That's what I gathered. And he pretty much feels like he owns the place. And so he's a borderline alcoholic, and sometimes he acts unreasonably. 6 o'clock in the evening, he complains that there's too much noise in the living room. He just wants to drink and unwind, and he complains that somebody's watching a TV show that he disagrees with. He watches TV pretty loudly too, so he disagrees about somebody singing Peter Dislike because he's Catholic, and he doesn't believe in any other sort of prayer. He disagrees about eating noises, and he tells me to shut up, and I'm like, shut what up? And I'm just joking with him. And 2 years ago, things like that would have bothered me a lot because I couldn't afford to lose the place. You know, I had a lot going on. I was juggling 3 jobs, and I needed all 3 jobs for the income. Now I need 3 jobs for the experiences and for the connections. But back then, I actually needed it for the income. And it created a lot of drama and a lot of unneeded stress. Right nowadays, I let him burn himself out. I used to get burned out by somebody doing stuff like that. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Mix Show. Bum 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 bum.